Rambo.
Please. Excellent, very good. Perfect.
It's Saqib Uddin in Manchester, and with me I have boxing's fighting dentist, Dr Arthif Daniel. How you doing, Arthif?
I'm very well, Saqib. How are you? You alright?
Very good, thank you. So Arthif, I'm going to start off with a bit of a cliche question, but first of all, talk to me a bit about yourself and your story behind boxing.
I've always enjoyed boxing. I started boxing when I was 8 years old. Boxing is very big in my household. My father and grandfather were both big Muhammad Ali fans. My grandfather even met Muhammad Ali in Regent's Park. It was, in the 60s. And growing up, watching Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hitman Hearns. So boxing's quite big. I've always been physically active. I've always enjoyed sports, various sports. I've always enjoyed martial arts, taking part in martial arts, various forms of martial arts, and obviously boxing. I love the cerebral part of boxing, the thinking part, the strategies, the game plans, and obviously the physical endurance element of boxing as well. So going side by side. So yeah, boxing has been in me from a young age.
So you have been in boxing for 4 years now and had 10 fights with 3 defeats. There's been some ups and downs along the way, but how do you feel you progressed so far in your career?
Yeah, I had, it's things are sort of coming together now. I've had 3, controversial losses. 2 of them from before the first bell rang, and one of them was unfortunately a robbery, but. It happens in boxing. You can't sort of beat yourself and be too down about them. It's just part of the growing up process, the maturing process. It's made me a better fighter, to be honest. It's opened up more doors for myself. So you got to take the positives out of every negative situation. But yeah, I've come back well, and good solid wins, and just looking forward to what's ahead. I've got some big things in the pipeline, and I'm really looking forward to grasping those with both hands.
So by trade, you're a dentist, but you're still studying very hard for, a professional boxer. Very unlikely trades, but how do you combine it all together?
Yeah, it's tough, but as the champ Floyd Mayweather says, hard work, dedication. So if as people say, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So I'm not going to lie, it's tough in just balancing the 2 professions and and various other things in life too. So just kind of got to push on, and if you want something in life, you've got to go out there and get it. So it's not going to be given to you on a plate. It's just all about working hard and pushing yourself and obtaining those results with hard work. You reap what you sow in life. So yeah.
So Arthif, I have to ask, if one of your opponents needed dental treatment, would you be there to provide free treatment after the fight?
Yeah, absolutely. I said it before I went into boxing. I always said that it would be a moral obligation. God forbid something like that were to happen. And obviously I've sort of gone on record to say it, sort of thing. But yeah, no, absolutely. God forbid something like that happen. Of course, I'd be there for my opponents. Yeah.
Have you had any opponents ask you about it?
Yeah, I've had 1 or 2, and with in a bit of a banter way, a bit of a joke, and so yeah.
Well, Arthif, absolute pleasure me having me at dentist today, but I think it's time to put some boxing gloves on.
There we go.
So Arthif, you are billed as the Dr Hitman. Where did that come from?
Was inspired from a few ring legends. Tommy Hitman Hearns, one of my favourite fighters, an absolute legend, one of the greatest fighters. Similar height, similar reach. Jab was his great weapon, and I've sort of aspired to sort of that sort of style. And the Klitschko brothers, with their phenomenal achievements outside of the ring as well as inside, with them being PhD doctorates, Vitaly being Dr. Steel Hammer, Dr. Iron Fist, and Vladimir being Dr. Steel Hammer. So I kind of put two together, became Dr Hitman. So instantly I met Tommy Hitman Hearns. First time I met him was during Floyd's fight with Canelo, and we had a mutual friend who introduced us, and then he told Tommy Hearns that I'm billed as Dr Hitman, and I told him the reason why, and Tommy Hearns he laughed and then he hugged me. So that's something I'll always remember and keep for the rest of my life. It's amazing guy.
So you also have a lot of your training camps in the Mocha at the Mayweather Boxing Gym. What's it been like training in and around with one of the greatest fighters of all time, of Floyd Mayweather, and alongside other elite level fighters?
Floyd Mayweather, an absolute legend. The greatest of his era, one of the greatest of all time. It's humbling and very inspirational. It definitely makes you push and go the extra yard, an extra mile. And it's fantastic doing, having taken part in several of his training camps, and it definitely broadened my horizons, and it made me develop and mature a lot more as a boxer and as a person.
Well, you have been involved in the famous doghouse sparring. What has that experience been like for you?
Oh, it's fantastic. Sparring there is brilliant at the Mayweather gym. It's like no other place. And but that particular one, we went 45 minutes, and it was a great experience. I loved it. Floyd Mayweather, he jumped in the ring and as conducting himself as a referee and adding his bit of banter and spice as he always does. No, it was fantastic. It was with a good friend of mine, William Williams, who was US #1 amateur. He's now pro. I think he's 4-0 now. It was a brilliant experience. Yeah.
So you have been very active recently as you come off back-to-back wins in the Czech Republic and Hungary in the space of 2 weeks. What is next for Dr Hitman?
Well, you know what? I had an opportunity to fight for a European title this month, but I've had to very reluctantly decline that because I had a bigger match on the horizon, a bigger fight. So and that should be announcing that very soon, God willing. And I'm just looking forward to that, and looking forward to taking that opportunity with both my hands. So yeah, really excited.
It's still very early in your career, but what aims and ambitions do you look to achieve in the sport?
I just want to continue working hard, listening to the sincere people around me. I've got great individuals around me, a great team. My trainer Eddie Mustafa Mohammed, I always keep in touch with. Danny Williams, there's great champions, past and present, who have the privilege and opportunity to speak with on a regular basis, and it's great to have that on my hand and stuff. So I just want to keep pushing really, and see where the road takes me.
Well, you've recently had a lot of praise off one of your finest contacts and very good friend of yours, Deontay Wilder, and he had this message to say.
Arthif Daniel, bro, you're the only fighting dentist that I know. Like, you literally can punch somebody in the mouth, knock their teeth out, and put it back in there free of charge. That's cool business, brother. That's cool business. Man, you're the hardest worker I know, man. You're moving. You're doing what you got to do. You're very determined. You want to be the best, and you want to prove it to them that you are the best. So keep going, man. We support you all the way. You got an upcoming fight. Come on, you got our full support, brother. You got an upcoming fight. Looking forward to that. Get that announcement out, and we'll see you, baby. Peace. Bomb Squad.
So what's it like having someone of that caliber giving you that type of support and praise?
It's phenomenal. I mean, Deontay's he's an amazing individual. He's a lovely person. People just see him for what he is. He's a killer in the ring. He's knocked out. He's done something no one else has done in heavyweight history. He's knocked out every single person he's ever faced. 40 wins, 39 knockouts. Bermain Sterling in the rematch, he knocked him out. So no one smells blood like he does. No one finishes like he does. In boxing, he's one of the most exciting fighters. Outside of that role, he's a phenomenal individual. He's a great person, a family guy. He's a man of God, and it's wonderful. It's inspiring to have a brother like him watching over my shoulder, always giving me support, give me his advice, and it's with people like him around me, I feel that I can push forward and hope to sort of obtain success. So it's it's humbling and it's great.
Now, the fight everyone wants to see and one of the biggest fights to be made in boxing is Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. I think it's very likely we're going to see that fight happening soon. So how would you see that fight planning out?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm not too sure it's going to happen very soon. I don't think it's going to happen next for a few reasons. Deontay and his team want that fight. I don't think Anthony Joshua's team want that fight. I think Anthony Joshua himself, he's a fighter. I think he's fearless. I don't think he would back out, but I think it's the people around him, it's his team, and they want to make a decision, based on whatever reason. That's that. But yeah, I think the fight is definitely on the horizon. I think it has to happen. It's the fight boxing fans want. It's the fight that the boxing world craves for. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be easily $100 million fight, and it'll be a huge rich prize in boxing. And I think Deontay Wilder will stop Anthony Joshua, and that's no discredit to Anthony Joshua. I think Anthony Joshua's phenomenal. I think he's a great fighter. I think Deontay is the only person who'd beat Anthony Joshua, to be honest. I just think his style with his foot speed, his hand speed, his unorthodox nature, his agility, and obviously his dynamite power. I think all of those tip the scale, more in terms of Deontay Wilder. Initially I did say that I'd see a late stoppage, but I'd retract that, and I think I'd see. I think it'll be a stoppage within 5 rounds.
Well, you was ringside to watch Joshua's victory over Joseph Parker at the Principality Stadium. What was your thoughts on the fight?
It was a very good fight. I think there's a lot of. I spoke to a lot of sort of casual fans, and they were really disappointed. They're like, "Oh, what a rubbish fight! What a boring fight!" It's like, well, you're not going to get a Joshua Klitschko every single time. I thought it was a very good fight. I thought it was it was very absorbing. They were both within punching distance, with each other, very close. And it was a chess match in there, and they were just it was always the case. It was 100% focus, concentration, and a slight lapse, and the other boxer was looking to counter and capitalize on a mistake. So it was a very good fight. I thought Joseph Parker made a great case for himself. He showed he came to win. He didn't just come as an opponent and to survive. He fought very well. He's a great character. He was game from round one. I thought he troubled Anthony Joshua firstly. I thought Anthony Joshua had abandoned his jab, but once he kind of settled down and established his jab, then I thought it was Anthony Joshua sort of, especially later and down the stretch, he won it very comfortably. But I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was absorbing, and it was Anthony Joshua showed he can box, box well, and it was good to kind of see him come light on the scales and be a bit more nimble on his feet, and he looked a lot more durable as well. So it was good at Anthony Joshua. I always like Anthony Joshua. I do support him. Otherwise, I think he's great for boxing. British boxing couldn't get a better face than Anthony Joshua. It's just obviously if he was to fight Deontay Wilder, who's like my brother, my support would be with Deontay.
Tyson Fury is also back and making his comeback on the 9th of June in Manchester Arena. Where do you feel Tyson fits within the heavyweight division?
Oh, definitely up there. I think Tyson is, he's proved himself. He went into the Lion's Den in Germany and beat the champion there. That's not easy. That's very, very difficult. And they were up against it. There was all these funny games going on beforehand. Even the ring canvas stuff and with extra foam, and they're trying to play all these extra tricks and stuff. But it was what it was. And Tyson done fantastic. And he beat the champion and he brought the belts back to the UK. Back to Britain. I feel for Tyson Fury. I think there was a lot of witch hunting, a lot of media that were out to get him, and you know, I thought he was treated very unfairly, and you know, as a great fighter. My only worry and concern in terms of boxing wise, he's been out for so long. Is obviously the body has had its toll. You know, with obviously being sort of outside of boxing in terms of, you know, alcohol or anything else, whatever. And we just don't know how his body's going to respond. You know, the body's, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to look after it, especially if you're an athlete. You know, I really hope, I like him. I really hope he does well, and I wish him well, wish him the best. And I think you know, hopefully he gets a, you know, a comeback fight in is it June or July? When is it? June. So, you know, hopefully he gets a good win, gets his feet back, you know, gets his feet wet, and gets another fight thereafter, and then I'm sure he'll be back in the mix to fight, you know, for the world title. So yeah.
So talk to me a bit about yourself and Floyd Mayweather. How did this unlikely friendship come about?
It was back actually in 2012, before the money team was made, and so I've been going back since. You know, every year I've been going to his September camps. So it was his Canelo camp, his second fight with Marcus Maidana, and then the Andre Berto fight. No, if you know, he's a great guy, and he's always given me his support. He's always given me advice, and it's you know, it's great to have you know, a champion like him as a friend, and being able to have you know, speak to him for, you know, advice and assistance. And he's helped me a lot in my boxing career, and I'm indebted to him.
Well, Floyd has recently announced that he's heading towards the UFC. What's your take on it, and are you surprised at all, you know, being a friend of Floyd's?
With Floyd Mayweather, you can never be surprised. You know, he'll do anything. He'll just come out with all sorts. So you can never be surprised with Floyd. And hey, you know, fantastic. You know, it's you know, he's achieved so much in the sport of boxing, and you know, if he wants to cross over to have a fight with a champion in the UFC and Conor McGregor, hey, that's a, you know, that's a phenomenal task. And you know, I wish him well. I wish him the best. You know, I'll support him, and I hope he does it. You know, and you know, at the end of the day, he's worked hard to get to where he's at. You know, no one just gave that to him on the dish. You know, so he deserves every bit of success that he gets.
How do you think Floyd would do in the octagon?
Hey, the thing, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big UFC MMA guy. I very rarely watch it, but from my understanding, Conor McGregor, a lot of his fights, a lot of his wins, they're on, you know, he's a stand-up guy. He doesn't do sort of much more sort of grappling and stuff. So he's a lot of, he does a lot of stand-up, you know, in the octagon. So that will favour Floyd as well, because obviously that's his strongest game, being stand-up. I don't know, we'd have to just wait and tune in. That's the exciting part, you know. People are saying X, Y, Z, but they'll still tune in to watch it and see what happens, and I certainly will. And you know, my support and loyalty will certainly be with Floyd Mayweather.
Finally, Arthif, what message do you have for the fans that are watching this?
Keep tuning in. Thanks for your support and prayers. Appreciate all your support and messages. And yeah, thank you.
Arthif, absolute pleasure.
Top man, thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, boy.